The phone screen glowed in the dark room like a fire. Tolu stared at his own WhatsApp status and could not believe his eyes. A private video of him and his wife Chioma, completely naked on their bed, was playing for the whole world to see. Tolu did not post it. Someone else did. At 2:17 a.m., thousands of people in Lagos were already watching. His hand shook so badly that the phone fell and broke on the floor. His heart was beating like a drum at a funeral. "Who did this?" he whispered, but tears were already running down his face. The video had more than 4,000 views and the number was still climbing fast. People were writing comments. "See someone's husband. Chioma, why? Tolu, we are sorry for you." Some people were even laughing at him. He looked at the bed. Chioma was still sleeping peacefully, looking like an innocent angel. But the video was very clear. Their bedroom, their red bedsheet, their wedding picture on the wall behind them. There was no mistake. Tolu felt his stomach turn. He wanted to wake her up and shout, "How did this video leave our phone?" But his legs would not move. He just stood there crying, while the woman he loved more than life slept, and his whole world burned outside. That was the night everything fell apart. But let me take you back to how we got here. My name is Tolu Adeyemi. I am 35 years old. I sell phone accessories in Computer Village, Ikeja. I wake up at 5 a.m. every day, face traffic, open my small shop by 8 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. Every kobo I earn, I take home to Chioma and our 2 children, David and Esther. People used to call me a good man because I do not drink, I do not smoke, and I do not chase women. My biggest pride was my family. I used to tell everyone that Chioma was the best wife in Lagos. I was very wrong. We met 9 years ago at the University of Lagos. She was studying business administration. I was studying computer science. Chioma was so beautiful, tall, light-skinned, long natural hair, and a smell that could melt any heart. But it was not just her beauty, she was clever and bold. The first day she walked into my class to borrow a marker, every boy turned to look. After the lecture, she came straight to me and said, "Tolu, I heard you are the best in this class. Please teach me." That was how our love started. We quickly became close friends. She would bring her books to my hostel and I would explain until she understood everything. One night it rained so heavily that she could not go back to her hostel. That night we crossed from friends to lovers. I still remember the smell of her coconut hair cream and how she whispered, "I love you" first. I felt like the luckiest man in the world. After we graduated, life became very hard. Jobs were difficult to find. Chioma's father had passed away, and her mother sold Pepper Mile 12 Market. My own parents were farmers in Ogun State. We struggled together. I did small computer repairs while searching for work. Chioma started selling clothes on Instagram. Every night we sat on the floor of my one room in Akoka, ate garri and groundnut and dreamed of a better tomorrow. I would tell her, "We will make it." She would rest her head on my chest and say, "With you, I am not afraid of anything." 2 years later, I got a job in a bank as IT support. The salary was small, but it was steady. We did our introduction, court marriage, then a big church wedding in Suruli. I cried when she walked down the aisle with her white dress. I promised God and everyone that I would love and protect her forever. David was born first, then Esther 2 years later. Life became sweet. We moved from one room to a 2-bedroom flat in Bernada. I opened my shop in Computer Village. Chioma stopped selling clothes and started importing baby products from Dubai. Money began to come in. We bought a small car. We started traveling to Dubai together. People began to call us a power couple. But little by little, things started to change. I didn't notice at first. Chioma began to wear more expensive clothes and jewelry. She would come home late saying she was with customers. Sometimes her phone stayed on silent all night. When I asked, she would laugh and say, "Tolu baby, don't you trust your wife again?" I would smile and apologize because I trusted her with my life. There was one business partner she always talked about, Richard. Richard this, Richard that. He owned a big store in Lekki and connected her with suppliers in Dubai. Whenever she said his name, her eyes would shine brighter.
I noticed, but I told myself, Chioma could never betray me. Then one day, about 4 months ago, I came home early because I was feeling sick. I opened the door quietly to surprise her. I heard male and female laughter from the bedroom. My heart started beating very fast. I walked slowly and pushed the door open a little. Chioma was on the bed wearing only a wrapper, painting her nails. Richard was sitting on the chair beside the bed, smiling at his phone. They were not touching, but the way they looked at each other made my blood hot. When she saw me, she jumped. Richard stood up quickly and greeted me like nothing happened. That night, I asked why a man was in our bedroom when I was not home. She cried and said it was nothing, that Richard only came to drop new samples. I apologized to her. I even cooked for her that night. But the seed of doubt was already planted. 2 months later, I started noticing more things. She began to bath for a very long time. She put a password on her phone. One night, I woke up at 3 a.m. and saw her in the sitting room typing fast on WhatsApp. When she saw me, she quickly switched off the phone. I asked who she was chatting with at that time. She said Richard about business. I kept quiet. Last month, Chioma traveled to Dubai for 10 days for business. Before she left, we made love like newlyweds. She asked me to record it so she could watch when she missed me. I felt like a king. I sent the video to her WhatsApp when she landed. I never knew that video would become the weapon someone would use to destroy me. Back to that terrible night. Chioma woke up and saw me standing with the phone. Tolu baby, why are you standing there? Come and sleep. Her voice was sweet as always. I turned the phone so she could see the video playing. Her eyes grew wide. She sat up fast, wrapper falling from her chest. Tolu, how? Who? She started shaking and crying real tears. Tolu, I swear I don't know how this happened. Please believe me. My phone started ringing. My sister, Emeka, my shop manager, unknown numbers. Everyone was calling. Chioma knelt and held my legs. Please let us find out who did this. I beg you, in God's name. I looked at her and asked the question that broke everything. Chioma, did he send this video to anyone else? She froze. Her crying stopped suddenly. She looked down and said nothing. That silence told me everything I needed to know. I walked to the sitting room. She followed, begging and crying. I sat on the couch. Our children were still sleeping. She knelt again. Tolu, it was a mistake. I sent it to only one person, I swear. Who? She whispered the name I feared most. Richard. That was the moment I knew my marriage was dead. But the worst part was still coming. The video was not only on my status, it was everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Someone added the caption, Lagos big girl Chioma and his husband caught in action. Who leaked it? And Richard himself commented with laughing emojis. Thank you for the content, bro. Next time, lock your phone.
I stood up from the couch like a different person had taken over my body. The sitting room was dark, only the blue light from the television that no one was watching. Chioma was still on her knees, her wrapper loose around her waist, tears shining on her cheeks. She looked small and weak, nothing like the strong woman I married. I asked again, very slowly. My voice sounded strange, like it belonged to someone else. Chioma opened her mouth, closed it, then finally whispered. He begged me for the video when I was in Dubai. I was foolish. I sent it only to him. I swear, Tolu, I don't know how it got to your status. I laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. It was the kind of laughter comes when your heart is already broken into pieces. So you have been sleeping with him, I said. It was not a question anymore. Chioma shook her head hard. No, Tolu, only kissing and touching. We never went all the way. I stopped it every time. I swear on my children's lives. I felt sharp pain in my chest. I walked to the front door and stepped outside to breathe fresh air. Chioma ran after me and held me from behind. Tolu, please don't leave. If you leave now, you will never come back. I know you.
Please let us fix this. I gently removed her hands. I just need air, I said. At that moment, the gate opened. A black Range Rover drove in slowly and parked behind my small Toyota. The driver's door opened. Richard stepped out wearing white native clothes and a gold chain, smiling like a man coming for a party. When Chioma saw him, she froze. Richard looked at me, looked at Chioma, and laughed out loud. Tolu, my guy, so the video has reached you. Sorry, I was only playing. He said it like he had spilled water on my shirt by mistake. I did not plan what happened next. My legs moved before my brain could stop them. I walked straight to him and punched him hard in the mouth. His lip burst open. Blood flew. He staggered back against the car. He shouted, Tolu, are you mad? You are raising your hand at me because of a woman everyone has tasted. I punched him again, this time on his nose. We fell to the ground, rolling, punching and kicking. Neighbors started opening their windows. Phones came out. People were recording again. Chioma was screaming, Tolu, stop. You will kill him. The estate security man ran out with his torch. Richard finally pushed me off and stood up breathing heavily. He entered his car, started the engine and reversed fast. Before he sped away, he wound down the window and shouted, Tell your wife I will release part 2 tomorrow, the one we made in my house in Lekki. He disappeared. I sat on the ground breathing like I had run a race. My shirt was torn. Blood was on my face. Chioma ran after me and held me from behind. Tolu, please, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I will explain everything. Neighbors were coming closer now. Phones were still recording. I stood up slowly. My whole body was hurting. I looked at Chioma. Her wrapper had fallen. Her chest was almost showing. I removed my torn shirt and covered her. Then I walked inside the house without saying another word. I went straight to the bedroom, opened the wardrobe, and started packing a few clothes into a bag. Chioma ran in. Tolu, where are you going? Please don't leave me and the children. I did not answer. I closed the bag and walked past her. She blocked the door with her body. If you leave this house tonight, I will kill myself. I looked at her for a long time. The woman I called my queen. The one I trusted with everything. Now she was threatening to die because she was caught. I moved her gently from the door and walked out. David was standing in the corridor rubbing his eyes. Daddy, why is everyone shouting? My heart broke again. I knelt down and hugged my 7-year-old son. Nothing, my boy. Go back to sleep. Daddy will be back soon. I lied. I carried my bag, opened the gate and started walking down the estate road. No destination, just walking. My phone kept ringing. I switched it off completely. I walked until I reached the expressway. I stopped a taxi and said, take me to any cheap hotel around Maryland. As the car moved, tears fell quietly from my eyes. The driver saw me in the mirror. Sir, woman problem. I did not answer. I just looked out the window and watched Lagos waking up. We reached a small hotel called Peace Lodge. I paid for 1 night. The room smelled old, but I did not care. I locked the door, lay on the bed, and stared at the ceiling until I fell asleep. I woke up at 10 a.m. to loud knocking. It was Emeka, my best friend. He pushed me inside and locked the door. Tolu, what have you done to yourself? The whole Nigeria has seen the video. Your shop boys did not even open today. Customers are afraid. He showed me his phone. The video now had 1.2 million views. Blogs had carried it. My full name was everywhere. People were calling me the foolish husband. Then a new video arrived from an unknown number. The message said, Part 2 loading. Enjoy this one first. I pressed play with shaking hands. It was Chioma in a big bedroom I had never seen before. Marble floor, huge television on the wall. She was wearing red lace that covered almost nothing. Richard was holding the camera and talking. Say hi to the people, baby. Chioma waved and laughed. Then she said the words that destroyed my soul completely. I love you, Richard. I'm leaving Tolu very soon. This one is for us. The video continued. I could not watch to the end. I threw the phone against the wall. It broke into pieces. Emeka watched a little and said quietly, "Tolu, I don't know what to say." I stood up and started putting on my shirt. "Where are you going?" I looked at him with red eyes. "I am going to Lekki. Richard must explain how my wife came to love him more than me. One of us will not come out alive."
I stepped out of the small hotel like a man walking to his own funeral. The sun was already hot at 11:30 a.m., beating down on my head. My left eye was swollen shut from Richard's punch the night before. My shirt was torn and stained with dried blood. People on the street stared. Some pointed, some raised their phones to take pictures. I no longer cared. I had become that man from the video. Emeka tried to hold my arm. "Emeka, think again. If you go to Richard's house now, you may end up in prison or dead. Cool down first." I gently removed his hand. "Emeka, if your wife told another man on camera that she was leaving you, what will you do?" He looked down and said nothing. He already knew the answer. I stopped the motorcycle on the road. "Banana Island, Lekki. I will pay anything you want." The rider looked at my face, saw the fire in my eyes, and simply nodded. The ride was long. We crossed Third Mainland Bridge. The water below shone like a mirror. I used to bring Chioma here on Sunday evenings to eat suya and drink together. Now the same woman was inside another man's house, planning to abandon me and our children. Emeka had forced his own phone into my hand before I left. "Take it. At least I can find you if anything happens." I had kept it in my pocket. Suddenly, it rang. "Unknown number." I answered. "Cholu baby, where are you?" Chioma's voice was weak and shaking. She sounded as if she had not slept. I stayed silent. "Tolu, please, come home. The children are crying for you. David refused to go to school. Mommy is here shouting at me. Please, my husband, I made a terrible mistake. I will confess everything in church if you want. Just come back." I ended the call and switched the phone off. We finally reached the big gate of Banana Island. The security men stopped us. I gave them the house number Emeka had found on Instagram. One of them made a call, then opened the small gate. "You can enter." The motorcycle dropped me in front of a white mansion that looked like a small hotel. High walls, palm trees everywhere, 2 luxury cars in front, the same black Range Rover from last night, and a red Mercedes. I paid the rider 20,000 naira. He took the money with both hands and sped away. I pressed the bell. A voice came through the intercom. "Who is that?" I did not answer. I pressed again, harder. The gate opened just a little. A huge security man stepped out, muscles everywhere. "Sir, what do you want?" "Tell Richard that Tolu is outside." He recognized my face from the video, smiled a little, and went back inside. 2 minutes later, the gate opened wide. Richard stood there wearing only boxer shorts and his gold chain. His lip was still swollen, his nose covered with plaster. He was smiling like someone who had won a lottery. "Tolu, my guy, you came to visit. Welcome." I said nothing. I just stared at him. He opened his arms wide. "Come inside. Let us settle this like men. No more fighting." I walked in. The compound was bigger than my entire estate. Swimming pool, flowers, an outdoor bar, pure money. He led me into the house. Cold air conditioning hit my face. Everything was white and gold. A huge television was showing music videos. The sweet smell of expensive perfume filled the air. He pointed to a long sofa. "Sit down, my guy." I did not sit. I stood. He went to the bar, poured himself whiskey, added plenty of ice. "Do you want one?" I shook my head. He took a sip and put the glass down. "Tolu, I will not lie to you. Chioma and I have been together for almost a year. She told me you are too gentle in bed, that she needed a real man. I did not force her. She begged me." My hands closed into fist. Blood started rushing to my head. He continued smiling. "That day you caught us in your bedroom was the 5th time she came here. I have plenty of videos, some in this bedroom, some in hotels in Dubai, even one inside my car in Victoria Island. Chioma is a very good student." I rushed at him.
This time there was no one to separate us. We crashed on the glass center table. It broke into pieces. The whiskey bottle shattered. I punched him in the face. Again and again, he blocked some punches and hit me in the stomach. We rolled on the broken glass. I felt sharp pain in my back, but I did not stop. He was stronger than me, but anger gave me extra power. I beat his shoulder hard. He screamed. I climbed on top of him and held his neck with both hands. His eyes grew big. He started choking. That was when I heard the voice I knew too well. "Tolu, stop! You will kill him!" I turned my head. Chioma was standing at the entrance, wearing a short gown, hair scattered, eyes red from crying. She ran forward and started pulling me off Richard. "Tolu, please, I beg you." Richard was coughing, holding his neck, blood coming from his mouth. Chioma knelt between us. "Tolu, I followed you this morning. I knew you would come here. Please let us go home." I looked at her, looked at Richard coughing on the floor, looked at the house that my wife had turned into her second home. Something inside me died at that moment. I stood up slowly. My shirt was completely torn. Blood covered my body. Richard managed to stand. He pressed a small button on the wall. 2 security men rushed in, holding batons. He pointed at me. "Throw this madman out." The men grabbed my arms and dragged me outside the gate. One of them pushed me hard. I fell to the ground. The gate closed with a loud bang. I stood up slowly. Dust covered me. People driving past were taking pictures again. I started walking. I did not know where I was going. I walked for hours until I reached a small food canteen. I sat in the corner. The woman looked at my face and became afraid. "Sir, do you want pepper soup? I have fresh fish." I nodded. She brought the soup and 1 bottle of cold beer. I drank the whole bottle in one go. It was the first alcohol I had touched in 10 years. Emeka's phone started ringing. "Unknown number." I answered. A deep voice said, "Tolu Adeyemi?" "Yes. This is Inspector Ahmed from Area F Police Station. We need you to come now. Your wife Chioma has reported that you want to kill her and her friend. We have sent officers to find you. If you do not come, we will declare you wanted." I ended the call. I paid the woman and started walking again. This time, I knew exactly where I was going. Straight to Third Mainland Bridge. By 4 p.m., I stood on the bridge. Cars rushed past. The wind was strong. The water below looked black and deep. I climbed onto the small railing. People started shouting, "Sir, come down! Brother, don't do it!" Phones came out again. I looked down at the water. I thought of David and Esther. I thought of Chioma laughing on another man's bed. I thought of my mother in the village who would hear that her only son jumped because of a woman. Tears filled my eyes. I closed my eyes. I bent my knees, ready to jump. That was when strong hands grabbed me from behind and pulled me to the ground. I opened my eyes. It was Emeka and 4 policemen. Emeka was crying, "Tolu, why do you want to do this?" The policemen put handcuffs on my wrist. As they dragged me into the van, one blogger who was live on the bridge shouted, "Guys, it is Tolu from the video. He wanted to jump." Another video was ready to spread. My shame was not finished yet.
The police van smelled of sweat, vomit, and fear. They pushed me into the back like a criminal and slammed the door. My hands were locked in handcuffs. Emeka stood outside begging the officers. "Sir, please, he has not killed anyone. It is just woman trouble. Have mercy." The fat sergeant hissed, "Woman trouble that wants to kill himself? If we leave him, tomorrow he will kill the wife or the boyfriend. Enter the van." Darkness swallowed me as the van drove off. I sat on the hard metal bench with my head against the wall. My whole body was shaking. I'd almost jumped. Just one more second and my children would have grown up without a father. Chioma would have won completely. The van stopped after almost an hour. They dragged me out into Area F Police Station, Ikeja. The building was old and dirty. Many people were shouting and crying at the counter. They pushed me into a small room with no windows. Inspector Ahmed walked in, tall, slim, with tribal marks on his cheeks. He dropped a thick file on the table and sat down. "Mr. Tolu Adeyemi, you know why you are here?" I nodded. "Your wife says you broke into her friend's house and nearly killed him. She says you have threatened to kill her too. She brought plenty evidence, screenshots, voice notes, even video of you fighting this morning." I said nothing. He opened the file and showed me papers. Chioma had written a long statement saying I had been beating her for years, that I was violent, and that she feared for her life and the children's lives. She attached old photos of small bruises from when we were only playing. She had twisted everything. Another paper was a court restraining order. Chioma had already gone to court. I was not allowed within 500 meters of her or the children. My mouth opened, but no words came out. Inspector Ahmed shook his head. "My brother, woman problem is dangerous. Your wife has arranged everything quickly. She even came with a big lawyer from Banana Island this afternoon." I finally found my voice. "Sir, she cheated on me. She leaked my private video. More than 2 million people have seen me naked. My life is finished. I cannot even see my children again." He looked at me with a little pity. "That is a civil case. You can go to court tomorrow and file your own case. But today you will sleep in the cell. Tomorrow we will take you to court for assault and threat to life." He stood up. "Is there anything you want to tell me before I lock you up?" I shook my head. They took my belt, shoes, and watch. Then they opened the big cell door. The smell hit me first. Toilet mixed with body odor. More than 30 men were packed inside one small room. Some were lying on the dirty floor, some sitting, some standing. When they saw me, many eyes turned. One man with tattoos all over his body shouted, "This is the man from the video, the one his wife gave the whole country to watch." Everyone started laughing and clapping. One mad-looking man began to sing, "Chioma baby, give me that thing." They pushed me inside and locked the door. That night was the longest night of my life. No food, only one small cup of dirty water. The floor was wet. Mosquitoes were more than sand. One big man they called Agbero King pushed me away from the small space I found and took it for himself. I just closed my eyes and prayed for morning. I thought of David and Esther. I wondered if they had eaten, if they were crying for daddy. I thought of my shop that had now been closed for 2 days. All my goods would soon disappear. Around 3 a.m., a policeman opened the door and called my name. "Tolu Adeyemi, visitor." They took me to the small visiting room. Emeka was there, eyes red from crying. He looked like he had not slept. He pushed a small nylon of bread and one cook under the table for me. The policeman looked away. "Tolu, listen carefully. I went to your house today. Chioma has thrown all your things outside the gate. Your clothes, your certificates, even your wedding album. She changed the locks. She told the estate security that if you come near the house, they should shoot." My heart sank again. Emeka continued, "I have taken everything to my place for now, but there's something very important." He showed me his phone. Chioma had posted new pictures on Instagram. Her and Richard inside a private jet, both wearing white, smiling. The caption read, "New chapter. Thank you, Lord, for second chance. #grateful heart.
Dubai bound. More than 50,000 likes. People were writing, "Queen behavior, enjoy your life, leave that broke man." I dropped my head. Emeka held my hand. "Tolu, you must fight back. Do not let this woman bury you alive. I have spoken to one lawyer. We can sue her for defamation and revenge porn. We can fight for custody of the children, but we need money." I laughed a small sad laugh, the first since everything fell apart. "Emeka, where will I find money for a lawyer? My account has never had up to 400,000 naira. My shop is closed. Who will help me?" Emeka looked straight into my eyes. "I know one way, but it is very dangerous." "Tell me." He came close and whispered, "Gist Lovers, the famous blog that destroys marriages and reputations every week. If we give them all the evidence, voice notes, videos, hotel receipts, everything that proves Chioma is the real villain, they will post it. The whole country will turn against her. Richard will run. Companies will drop her. She will beg you on national television." I thought about it. Chioma's life would be destroyed the same way my life was destroyed. She would finally feel the pain. But David and Esther would also see their mother's naked videos. They would read that their mother is a bad woman. I shook my head. I cannot do that to my children. Emeka nodded slowly. "I knew you would say that. That is why you are a better man than me." Visiting time ended. They took me back to the cell. Morning came. They brought me out with 3 other men and put us inside the Black Maria van. They drove us to Ikeja Magistrate Court. The courtroom was small and hot. Many people were there, some journalists with cameras. I saw Chioma. She looked more beautiful than ever. New hair, new bag, new dress. Richard stood beside her in expensive suit. Their lawyer was tall and confident. When Chioma saw me in handcuffs, she quickly looked away. The charges were read: assault, threat to life, attempted murder. Chioma went to the witness box and cried beautiful tears. She said she had suffered in my hands for years, that she only cheated because I was not good in bed, that she feared for her life and the children. Many people in the court started shaking their heads at me. My own lawyer was a small boy Emeka paid only 50,000 naira. He had not even finished law school. The magistrate, a woman with big glasses, shut him up every time he tried to speak. Bail was set at 500,000 naira plus 1 senior civil servant as surety. I had no one. The magistrate said if I could not pay, they should take me straight to Kirikiri prison. As they were dragging me out, Emeka stood outside the court crying. "Tolu, I tried everywhere. I borrowed 200,000 naira. Nobody wants to help." I knew prison was waiting for me. Just then, a beautiful woman ran forward shouting, "Wait!" She was light-skinned with short natural hair and big sunglasses. She faced the police. "I am Tolu's new lawyer. Here is the bail money and papers. My uncle is an level 16 officer in the Ministry of Education." She dropped a big envelope full of cash and official letter. The police opened it. Exactly 500,000 naira and all the correct documents. Everyone was confused. Even Chioma and Richard turned and stared like they had seen a ghost. The woman removed her sunglasses and looked straight at me. "My name is Ada. I am a journalist. 2 days ago, Richard's former personal assistant sent me everything: voice notes, bank transfers, hotel receipts, private videos, proof that Chioma and Richard planned to destroy you for months.
And I have evidence that will destroy Chioma and Richard tomorrow morning."
But there is one condition. You must be ready to fight dirty. Are you ready? I looked at the stranger who had just saved me from prison. I looked at Chioma, whose mouth was wide open. I looked at Richard, who had started sweating. I nodded slowly. I am ready. Ada smiled. Then let it begin.
The moment I said I am ready, Ada grabbed my hand and pulled me away from the police van. Cameras flashed everywhere. Chioma was shouting my name, but Ada did not let me look back. She pushed me into a clean Toyota Camry and drove off fast. First, we went to our office in Victoria Island. She gave me a private room with a hot shower, new clothes, and real food. For the first time in 3 days, I felt like a human being again. While I ate jollof rice and chicken, Ada sat opposite me and opened her laptop. She pressed play on one voice note. Richard's voice. Baby, this December we will do court marriage in Dubai. I have bought the ring. Tolu can never give you this kind of life. This house will soon be in your name. Chioma's voice, sweet and happy. I love you so much, baby. I just pity the children a little, but I am tired of pretending. My hand shook holding the phone. Ada showed me more. Richard sent Chioma 28 million naira in 6 months. Chioma stole almost 47 million naira from our joint business account. Videos of Chioma inside Richard's house slapping a maid. The full private videos Richard threatened to release. She closed the laptop. Tomorrow morning, at exactly 6 a.m., the complete story goes live on my blog, The Nation newspaper, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. I have paid big influencers, even Gist lovers will carry it. By 12 noon, Chioma will lose every brand deal. Richard's company's shares will start falling. By night, they will be hiding from cameras. I looked at her. Why are you helping me? You do not even know me. Ada's eyes became hard. My elder sister married a man who cheated. When she wanted to leave, he leaked her private video. My sister killed herself last year. I promised myself that any woman who does this to another person will cry blood. Today is Chioma's turn. That night, Ada booked me into a quiet guest house in Ikoyi and paid for 1 month. She said, "Sleep well. Tomorrow, the war starts." I slept like a dead man. At 6 a.m., my new phone started vibrating non-stop. Ada sent me the link. The story was everywhere. Headline in red, "Exclusive. How Chioma Adeyomi and Richard Okamfor plan to destroy her husband Tolu for months. Full receipts and proof." Within hours, Twitter crashed in Nigeria. Hashtag Chioma is finished became #1 worldwide. 3 big baby companies terminated Chioma's contract immediately. Richard's company's shares started falling. Old customers Chioma owed money began to speak out. By 10 a.m., Chioma called me. She was crying so hard I could barely hear her. "Tolu, please, tell them to remove the story. I am finished. Richard has blocked me. He flew out this morning. My mother is in hospital. Please, I beg you." I stayed quiet. She continued, "I will sign anything. I will leave the children with you. I do not want anything again. Just make them stop." I spoke for the first time, calm and clear. "Chioma, you destroyed my life. You made the whole country laugh at me. You made me stand on a bridge ready to jump. Now you know how it feels. Enjoy your new chapter." I ended the call.
At 11 a.m., Ada called me. Tolu, come outside now. I went to the gate. A big school bus was waiting. Inside were David and Esther with their school bags smiling. Ada said, "The court has granted you emergency custody." Chioma signed the papers this morning with shaking hands. She has moved to her mother's house in Ajegunle. My children jumped out and ran into my arms. "Daddy! Daddy!" I carried them and cried, happy tears for the first time in days. That night, we ate ice cream, watched cartoons, and prayed together. I tucked them into bed and kissed their foreheads. 1 week later, Chioma came to my new place. She looked thin and tired. No wig, no makeup, no designer bag. She knelt at the gate. "Tolu, I am sorry. I was greedy and foolish. Please, forgive me." I looked into her eyes. "Chioma, stand up. I forgive you the day my children called me daddy again, but we can never be husband and wife. Take care of yourself." She cried, stood up slowly, and left. Richard ran to the United Kingdom. His wife divorced him. 2 of his companies closed. My shop? I opened a bigger one in Ikeja City Mall. Old customers came back to say sorry. New customers flooded in. Money began to flow again. Ada and I started dating. She is strong, beautiful, and has a good heart. Every night I kneel with David and Esther and thank God. The same video that tried to bury me became the seed that grew into my biggest blessing. Because the same Nigeria that laughed at me stood up and fought for me when the truth came out. I learned the greatest lesson of my life. When they push you into the ground, stay there for a moment, gather your strength, then stand up taller than you ever stood before. My name is Tolu Adeyomi. I am no longer the man from the video. I am the man God picked from the dust and crowned again. This is my story. Thank you for staying till the end. If this story touched your heart, please share it and comment, "God never sleeps." See you in the next one. Remain blessed.